Hey guys, whoa, I'm already hitting stuff. What's up? Welcome to Laser Everything. We're live. We got to change the playlist name, Kyle, from Friday Live Day to just Laser Everything live streams, because we've rarely been doing Fridays.
Fridays have been tough.
Yeah, Fridays have been tough, especially hot off the heels of recording the Laser Source podcast and eStop. So, I've been busy. I've been like really busy. I don't know if you guys have noticed. Uploads have been a little slow. It's just because I've been literally emptying, and I made a post about this on the LMA, but I didn't really talk about it on Discord or Facebook. I have been basically gutting the shop and bringing everything home for the winter because I don't want to have to go somewhere in order to make content. And there's a lot of content that we want to be able to produce this winter, especially including the CO2 Galvo and the UV. I want it all here. And if you can see behind me over here, they're actually here. So I wanted to give you guys a really quick kind of studio tour and show you what's up if you're interested in that. And then when that is over, Kyle, you're going to be doing a little viewer's choice today?
Yeah.
Nice.
Hang out.
So that's kind of the deal right now, guys. So if you're here, thank you. We appreciate you joining us. And I am going to actually have my phone queued up over here. So I'm going to mute myself on this mic, and I'm going to switch over to the phone so I can actually like walk around, because there's, I mean, you can see some stuff here, but I figure we're close enough to like the whole thing now that I would actually like walk through and show you guys the deets. So we're going to do that. Kyle, if you don't mind managing cameras for me.
Yeah, man.
All right, I'm going to mute this, and I will see you guys in 2 seconds.
I'm guessing that means Alex is ready to go.
Can you hear me, bro?
Yeah.
How's that sound? Okay.
Yeah, good enough.
All right, sweet. So this sucks. I'm actually going to switch you guys to the front camera, because the back camera, or rather the back camera, because the front camera's weak. Oh, whoa, infinity mirror. Okay, good. So here we go.
First person view.
First person view, guys. This is my desk. There's the Canon R6 that I film my videos with a very old but very good EF lens on it. And we've got the key light, the sporting light over here. And let's see what's on my desk. We got my wallet. There's a binky and a water glass. I do drink water on occasion. We have instructions for the Q800 chiller. I've got my Switch. Not that I ever play it, but I like to look at it and remember my gaming days. The Intuos Pro. We've got the tour box, which I use to edit videos, and some candy, of course, business mail, and the soda. Also, shout out to Sam, who won the Pixel 6a laser giveaway. I'm about to mail this, so that's going to be going out soon. And then we did draw a winner for the AirPods, right, Kyle?
Yes, we did. Hoping they get back to us.
Those will be going out soon as well. So that's kind of the desk, guys. This is where I spend most of my day. And we'll just go ahead and tuck that back in for now. So over here on the right, we've got this main LED light. And this is lighting this folding table here. It's disgusting at the moment. It needs a clean. But this table, guys, is going to be the diode table. So we've got the Laser Master 3, the Alfaro Laser 2, and the xTool all lined up, ready to go. And we're going to build those and review them right here on this table. I've also got this bag. This is all stuff that viewers have sent into the show that I haven't had a chance to show yet. Oh, and there's the laser pecker too. So we'll be taking a look at that as well. But all stuff that I need to kind of get to just under the desk at the moment. And these are eventually going to go up on the wall. I brought these home just so we can mess around with the UV. It's mostly glass. I just don't have a shelf to put it anywhere yet, but it's all there. So that is the diode desk. So that's where we'll be doing that. If we come over here, I've just got a couple basic shelves. So just like some cleaning supplies, stuff like that. We've got, usually this is my my blanks drawer. So I've got a bunch of steel and aluminum blanks, but I needed to separate all of my rechargeable batteries out that haven't already been charged. So that's currently what this drawer is being used for. We've got some other things in here. Blanks. I've got some polymer. We've got some leather, a little bit of slate, a couple knives. Just general stuff, guys. Just kind of stuff. Under this desk, the data vac is here now. We've got just kind of like some business paperwork and shipping supplies and a bunch of HVAC stuff, and we will talk about that in a few minutes. On top of this desk, here's the D-Corn. We love the D-Corn. It's kind of a Laser Everything classic right there for our microscope needs. And then this is all just charging, guys. Just we use a lot of batteries here at Laser Everything, so this whole area here is for charging, and that's what we'll be doing there. Got my Laser Everything hats over here. I brought almost all of the no IR goggles home. The only pair that's still at the shop is one pair of CO2 goggles, because we do still have the OMTech and the Mira there. So in the event that we need to head back there to use those for something, we need a pair of goggles for those in case we're marking with the door open. Various rulers and things. And of course, we've got Laser Everything TV going on the TV in the background here. A couple more hats, just the ones that I don't really wear so much. Team Spark. And we've got the other microscope. This was my home one, but we have the D-Corn now, so I'm going to find somewhere to put that away. And there's the Mansfield. That is the only rotary that I have at the moment that is wired to be used with a standard 4-pin connector on the Ranger. There's the Ranger. Don't bury the lead, right? So there is the Ranger, guys. It's really finally like set up now, like really well. I've got EasyCAD boards over here and lens spacers and the stepper drivers. This is a beam expander. And dude, I finally broke something on the 30-watt Mactron. I pulled this today and it just came off. So it took 5 years for something to break. And I need to fix that. It's not even like broken, it just like was loose, I think. So I just need to screw that back on.
Let's face it, if it did break, it's probably a consumable part anyway. And on top of that, we all know that you use the shit out of that handle.
Yeah, definitely. And here's the Ranger, guys. So there it is. So we will definitely be using this a ton this winter. And it's looking really good. Like I said, we finally got it kind of set up to where I'm going to be happy with it. And we'll be talking about that more soon, too. I also treated myself, let me make sure if I can get the light in here, to the 1 gallon California Air Tools compressor. It is so quiet. It's so nice. Is it plugged in right now? Yeah, I mean, you can hear me over it. It's just, it's ridiculously quiet. It's not even
hear it at all.
Fair how quiet that is. And we've got the LO 800 watt chiller here, chilling the Ranger. And of course, label printer for mail needs. Enough about that, though, guys. Check this out. So we've got all of our Galvo lasers here now at the home studio, all in a nice line. So there it is. There's the original 30-watt Mactron with the external stepper driver right there. And then next to it, we've got the brand new MTFP 80-watt Mactron MOPA. So they just sent this. We did an unboxing of it in a live stream recently. I'm going to edit the live stream down so that we can just kind of get a quick look at it. I'm not done with it yet, but I will be soon. I got a little sidetracked with this stuff. There's the case. We've got really nice custom porting on there. Just a really, really nice machine. So I'm super excited to play with this. And they actually shipped it with the 80 centimeter tower, which is super cool. So I'm super stoked on that. Next to it, we've got the 5-watt Ingu UV laser. So we've got that right there. And this is a power drill battery. So I've been hanging a lot of stuff. And then the 30-watt coherent CO2 Galvo. And you can see it's all gunmetal gray. They all match. The cases all match, guys. It's so nice having them all in a line down here. These really are like the Ferraris of Galvo lasers. I love Mactron so much. So I'm really excited to have all 4 of these Galvo lasers here, and we'll definitely be playing with those really soon. This is Miranda's station, so if Miranda is yelling at you online for misbehaving or providing legal advice to me for something I shouldn't be saying, she's probably doing it from here. And we've got the packs up on the wall, out of the way. If we need to pick up and go somewhere, we can do that, absolutely. And here we've got the third light, I think. Yep, third. This one is the one that just kind of gives us that color on the back wall there. So pretty cool little setup. These lights from New are super cheap. This is my cable drawer. We're not going to go super into it, but I do have every kind of cable known to mankind, and they are all organized. I just rebagged and zip tied them all by style and function. So got all of those right here. And extension cords. When you have a laser shop, I'm sure you guys know, you can never have too many extension cords. This is my box of sadness. This is all my cool video game stuff that I had to take down to make room for all of this laser stuff for the winter here. So that's all going to hang out in the box until I live somewhere bigger. And we just got kind of like some blanks up here. So I've got aluminum dog tags. We've got some coins. If we want to mark any coins, we can do coin marking. Here we've got rare metals, so titanium, steel, silver, and copper. Then we have our aluminum shelf and our brass, excuse me, brass shelf, rings, steel bottle openers, different spacers, little adhesive things, magnets, all kinds of little stuff that we could want to use in a video. We've got it right here. And these are all power adapters for different lights and microphones and cameras and things that I use fairly often. So I don't want them in the cable drawer because I need them more often than other things. And last but not least, guys, we've almost come full circle here. Walkie-talkies, I just think they're cool, so I have them. Here's the second Canon R6, which we have on the new RS3 from DJI, which is really nice. You guys are asking for steadier shots, so there you go. Future reviews will have steadier shots. And then we just have like tools and stuff. There's a lot of stuff here. I've got like knives and different lenses and things. We've got attachments and bank cards and super glue and watches and different tool things. Jimmy's going to be coming over soon. We're going to put another shelf up like right here, like a nice floating shelf for all my tools and stuff, because they're just literally in a pile right now. I keep spare fiber laser lenses in this camera lens bag. These are all mics and headphones and things that we need for production. More tools and, of course, Pokemon cards. So if you like Pokemon, I've got plenty of Pokemon cards to go around. Again, mics. These are mostly lav mics and portable mics, to-go mics. Newer flash kit here. And over here, we've just got a variety of different laptops and tablets and things that we use for the show. So we want to make sure we're covering tablet use when we're doing things like the laser pecker. So we'll be able to show that off pretty soon. This is a really old laptop here that we're going to use for Linux. So we're going to install Linux on this machine because some people have asked for Lightburn on Linux. We've got the MacBook, which I recently showed that we had picked up, a Chromebook, Windows laptops as well. So kind of the full spread there for whatever we need to show. A couple extra bags. This is where I hide my treats. I've got my honeycomb and Chips Ahoy down there. And I think that's about it. So here's the view that you guys are used to. So you guys usually see things right from the camera's perspective right here. But there is an entire room. Oh, and I don't want to forget, let's talk about the ventilation real quick. So yeah. Behind this curtain here, we've got a VivoSun 6-inch centrifuge fan connected to a corrugated steel elbow, which reduces down to 4-inch, and then the 4-inch goes to a 3-way split. So this 3-way split has a blast gate on each split, so we can open or close these to change our pressure as needed, which is a really, really nice solution. And then we've got 3 different paths we can take. So path 1, we follow down, takes us over to the Ranger. And then path 2, coming to the left here, is open-ended, which we can sneak around to any of the galvo lasers that we need it for when we're doing various galvo laser things. And then path 3 comes up along the ceiling. We've got it just kind of dangling here by some zip ties. And it comes all the way down, and it's going to hover right here and we've cut it hopefully so that we can just kind of move it to whichever side. I'd like to have 2 diodes set up over here, one on the left, one on the right, and then we can just kind of rig this up left or right, depending on what we want to exhaust from, and we'll be able to exhaust the diodes. So that's the exhaust situation there. I do have an S4. I've got a cloud, not Cloud Ray, an AC Infinity S4. I may use that as a booster at some point for the diode setup, but this house is really old, and I don't really like these, and I don't think they're going to hold a fan. So that may have to wait for another time. But that's it, guys. So there again, Galvo lasers. We've got the Ranger over here. We'll probably set up our little laser pecker on our charging bench over here, and our diode lasers over here. And I will sit here and edit until the end of time. So there we go, guys. That was the brief little tour there, and I can actually swap myself back in real quick.
Ooh, I don't think I've talked that much in a long time. That was a lot, even for me, and my job is to talk. Hopefully it looked okay. Could you see things all right?
It looked great, yeah. We got a couple of chat things. I'll let you catch your breath.
Yeah, no, please go for it.
Beam It Up says diodes, baby.
Yep, we got some
$4.99 super chat. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
SD asks how we're going about filtering the air. In this case, we're not. I do the same thing. I go straight for the window.
Yeah.
A lot of the time, the heavier particles will sit in the corrugated parts of the ducting. So every 6 months, year, depending on how much you laser, you can actually just take the entire duct and go recycle it and grab a new one. Or put it over something outside and shake it out.
With a mask on.
But yeah, with a mask for sure.
With a mask.
Try not to bump it around while it's
big old bag of
stuff.
Yeah, totally.
Terrible for your lungs. Jack in the shop says, "Do you have an RJ45 to DB9 connector?"
Sorry, my wife was yelling at me. What?
Naughty.
She's giving.
No, I'm just kidding. RJ45 to DB9 connector.
RJ45 to DB9. Why does DB9 sound familiar, but I don't know what it is?
It's the communication port for like the back of a laser source.
Oh, like a serial port. I don't have a connector that connects those things. No.
I think you do.
Do I? Oh, is it in that box with the laser source?
Yeah.
Oh, that would be.
It's in with the GZ Tech.
That's at the shop. Then that's at the shop.
You have one halfway.
Maybe we didn't open that box.
It counts.
Yeah, maybe. Strong, maybe.
Everybody complimented you on the laser engraved deodorant and the setup on tablets and laptops. Yeah,
that's stupid. I'm still mad about that. That was advertised as a 7-binder organizer, which was really just 2 3-binder organizers that I had to zip tie together to get that center slot. But it does the job. We have a lot of computers here for obvious reasons. So I had them all stacked up, but then every time I needed to pull one out from like the middle, you have to, like kind of stop all of the other ones from pulling out, and it was a mess. Binder organizer.
Constant shuffle.
Kyle and I we were joking around the other night. We were looking online at laptop organizers that fulfill the same function, and they are multiple hundreds of dollars. So that was ridiculous. Yeah, ridiculous. So we went for the old the mesh binder organizer, and that definitely did the trick for sure.
Got good airflow.
Yeah,
keeps it organized, keeps them safe.
Yep. And then we used I don't know, that maybe the audience will care, maybe they won't. But I got these on Amazon too. They're just little slot holders for cables. I've got them literally all over the shop. They're everywhere. You just thread your cables through them, and it works great for the laptop station. It works great for all of the wiring underneath with the lasers and stuff, and they're just like little channels for your cables to run through. They're great. They cost like nothing. So
SD says elephant trunk ventilation, copyrighted.
Yeah, for sure. Yep. We do have this. I usually keep this tucked up and out of the way. And of course, we won't have the nice thing is when we're working with diode stuff, the mic will swing all the way over here. So we'll be able to like do diode stuff.
That's a
and I don't even have
super
to,
long arm.
yeah, I don't even have to re-mic or anything. So we can sit here and do, you know, our diode stuff and then swing it back over when we're done. And the diode, I think I showed it when we were doing the tour, but the diode area does have its own dedicated lighting as well up here. So this whole table, you can see my hand is super bright there. So that'll all be nice and evenly lit. And we will be getting these out of here. They're just kind of renting temporarily, but they're going to be evicted soon. So
J-Max says, wonder where everyone got that great idea on ventilation and also munchies.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's see. Quasar says, where's your mini fridge where's your mini fridge for all your Cokes and waters?
Downstairs, but it's full size and at home, and much easier to restock. So when I'm at home, I actually have a delivery boy too, because I have an 8-year-old son that I can just say, hey, can you please go get me a Coke? And he'll be like, okay. And then he'll just go get me one. So when I'm home, I don't even have to get up, which is arguably better. I can just sit here.
J-Max says, no butter on the table, Alex, dude. Sad face.
What does he mean?
I don't know.
I don't know either. That's confused. No butter on the table. I mean, this table is really dirty, but that's just because it's been in storage or whatever. So
maybe it was a Panera joke from way back when.
Oh, maybe, yeah, the butter. Right. I got it. The butter.
Yeah, I think that was it.
All right, cool.
Should put eyes or something on the ventilation.
Oh, just so that it's hanging down.
You
know what?
Here we go.
We can we can do that if we want to, guys. And we're gonna do it.
It's eyes time.
Yeah, that's
J-Max says you eat butter by the bar.
I do. It's true. Yeah,
that's true. I do too.
We'll get some eyes on this ASAP here. We want to make sure we get it at the right angle so that the camera can see it. Man, these suck to peel.
The Googlers.
The Googlers, dude. This may take me a moment, so feel free to converse or build your poll for your viewer's choice.
Oh, that's a valid point. Let me see here.
All right, guys, let's see what we can do here. I want to make sure that the camera can see it like really well.
So, guys, I'm working on setting up a poll, and as you might have seen in the title, it's going to be a viewer's choice. So we're going to do a little projecting tonight. You guys get to kind of direct me as to what I'm going to get done, or at least get done first.
Ye old viewer's choice.
Yes.
There you go. Done.
Sweet.
Yeah. Who suggested that? That was a great suggestion.
I think it was Jack.
Nice. Done.
Let me double check. SD. I'm sorry. It was SD.
Yeah. Now the autofocus is going to be constantly trying to focus on the vent instead.
It's a fight.
Let me see. I need like a full screen view of this real quick. But yeah, there he is. That's pretty sick. That was a good idea. So what are our potential options tonight?
So what we're going to be considering doing tonight is I have 2 knives that both need deep engravings. I have a Zippo to do some testing on with the UV and or fiber or both.
Nice.
And I have Matt says how deep? Real deep.
Where does Matt say how deep? I don't even see it. Oh, there he is. What's up, Matt?
I was ahead. Let's see what else. For for the giggles, I could do a machete. We could do we could start doing some lens setups. I don't know how far we'll get, but maybe we can at least figure out the focal range of our lenses. I have at least 3 lenses for the fibers that I haven't used yet that we can get focal distances on. We can see how far we get on that. I don't know. What do you guys feel like seeing? I'm trying to set up a poll and it's not letting me.
Oh, tomorrow, by the way, Jimmy is
here we go.
coming.
Yep, sorry.
Jimmy's coming to the shop tomorrow, and we're gonna build one of the diodes. I'm not sure which one, but we will be building a diode tomorrow. So if that's something you're interested in, keep an eye out for that. Probably be around noonish.
I should I mean, I have a lot of diode testing to do. Maybe I should do like a long format live stream. I don't know if anybody wants to hang around for that.
Long format live stream.
Maybe we'll do a poll on that toward the end and see how many people would actually be interested in a long format diode live stream.
Look at this guy.
All I heard was someone talking about setting up a poll, and I'm here.
Hey man, I saw you in chat, and I was like, if he's alive, if he's got a pulse, get him in here.
Oh man, I have so many things to make tonight. I can hang out for a little bit, but then I gotta roll.
For sure. What are you doing?
Hang out, bud.
Oh, so I just finished 50 cups, and of course I already boxed them all up. I just did 50 of the cups on Project Mark, which was cool.
Nice.
I did like I set it all up so that when I came home tonight I could just go.
Was that on the fiber?
Yeah. Actually I got it was.
Oh, you're doing like the little pint glasses.
Yeah. So I mean, dude, these are great little money makers. Like, holy cow. Yeah, I put them all up. But basically, there's a swim team that's here, and I'm really excited. That's where I think I was talking to you guys. The swim team is fantastic, by the way. But I've got that. I'm doing trophies. Like, the lady also was like, oh, hey, by the way, can I get 18 trophies? And I was like, yes, you can. So they're all going to be like those resin print JDS trophies, which work for me.
Yeah, whatever.
I've got the golf team I'm making cups for. I'm making acrylic little stand trophies. So much shit, man.
Yeah.
And they're all due next week. So I'm just like, I literally have my list. I've got the order sheets, and I'm just like crossing them off as I go. So it's good times.
Yeah. Hey, whatever, dude. If it's flowing, you know.
Yeah.
Gotta cash in while you can.
It's cool because the one good thing is that the one swim coach is definitely like an entry point to the new school. So I'm pretty excited for that.
Mr. and Mrs. T want to know where you got your little pint glasses from.
These little guys?
Yeah, are those JDS.
I wouldn't worry about these little guys. No, sorry.
What's wrong with you?
Super troopers.
Yeah.
I can't help it.
I know.
So these little guys, they're like JDS, but I actually ordered from China with Mae Armstrong and Alicia Payton. I did a big group buy
Nice.
because they were doing a bunch, and so they were like, "Hey, do you want in on this?" And I said, "Yeah, let me just grab a couple hundred to see."
Yeah.
What's really cool is these you can
small loan of a couple hundred, small purchase of a couple hundred.
But they wasn't that bad. I mean, that's the thing. Like from JPP. They're like $4 a cup if you have and that's where work with friends, find a way to make it happen.
Yep.
I think I paid $1.50 a piece, like landed here.
Yep.
So pretty sweet. And then
you can't get them. So just I'm gonna throw this. Nope, wrong button. I just want to throw this up here really quick because I am looking at them because you mentioned it. Here is the Johnson's Plastics Plus page, and you can get them for about $2 a pop. When you buy from the case, right? And but they are nice. So if you want an easy way to pick them up, and you're okay with paying a little bit more, you can get them from Johnson's Plastics Plus. They're not an affiliate of ours. They don't even have an affiliate program. I just like their stupid little cups. So that's something to check out.
And that's one of those things. He's exactly right. So this was a group buy. It just and by the way, figure out your own thing. I see someone saying we should organize group buys and laser everything. That sounds like a big headache. So I'm just telling you right now. Like I'm just gonna say that's probably a no for most people.
I appreciate this. I appreciate the spirit of that, but
it's a lot.
I cannot manage one more thing in my life right now.
It's juggling money. It's juggling.
You know where that's going to be something that's going to be really great though?
Hmm.
Is the laser marketplace coming out. Like that's where people can do that kind of thing.
The laser everything marketplace, the LMA also, we let that go on the LMA. So if people are trying to do group buys, because everybody's paying to access the Laser Master Academy, it's a little more like we can stay a little more hands off, because it's a higher bar to entry. So that would be the place to go as well if you don't want to wait. Or there's there's a million Facebook groups out there that literally just do that all day.
Yes, and that's what I was gonna say. These took like a month to get, so like please don't think, because otherwise you can pay air freight, but these are stainless steel. I mean, don't let the little pint glass fool you. Like they're half a pound, they're chunky boys.
Yep.
So anywho, but yeah, those are great. And I think Alex, the JPP place that he said is a pretty great. I mean, they got a pretty quick turnaround. They're already stateside.
Yep.
So there you go. But yeah, they're a really good seller.
I don't blame you, Mr. and Mrs. T. I don't Facebook either. But if you're not already a member over at the Laser Master Academy, you should go check it out. It's over at masters.lasereverything.net. It's the number one way to support the channel. And we let that stuff go over there because the bar is a little higher, the barrier to entry, right? So we don't want
less people who are trying to get over on other people, kind of.
Yeah,
thing.
we don't want people to get screwed over in a place that has our name on the front door,
right?
Essentially, because that's not good for business. So, if I'm being frank, so the LMA again, people are paying to be there, so it's far less likely. Oh, you are members. That would be a great place to make a first post then and ask because people would probably be down. Yeah, we have a buy sell trade forum. If you go to the forums tab in the main menu, head over to buy sell trade, make a post over there. You might get some traction depending on what you're looking to pick up.
We're almost 6 minutes into the poll, so if anybody in chat hasn't, I see there's about 30% of the people watching haven't voted. If there's anything you want to see out of that list, make sure you vote.
Nice.
Go into the chat if you're on mobile, and you'll see it at the bottom. Cast your vote now.
Yeah.
Legal says we also don't want to moderate conflicts. Yikes.
No.
That's what I was going to say. So the reason I bought with those two is because we've done a few group buys and we already got a system in place. Boom.
Yep.
Facebook do be getting wild.
For sure. What's winning right now, Kyle? What's it looking like?
Knife.
We got deep engraved knives at 65%, followed behind by UV fiber testing on lighters.
Wow. Surprising that the UV isn't higher on the list. If you
I'm
do
surprised
the deep
lens
engrave,
setup and machete aren't a little higher.
If you do the deep engrave on the knife, are you going to use the Death Star?
How deep?
Yes.
Yeah.
You will be using the 100-watt Death Star.
Nice. Very
with
cool.
The 110 lens.
Very cool.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I need to do some. We ran out of time. I wanted to do this stream much earlier in the evening today, and it just didn't happen. So I'm going to have to leave soonish. I wish I could stay and hang out, but my daughter is going to have to go to bed, and she will only sleep with daddy. So I don't have to put her down. And then when she's down, like I can talk and stuff. And I talk to these guys after she goes to bed, but I'm literally sitting here in the dark. Like I look like a Sith Lord, and I've only got the red light on so that it doesn't wake her up. And I'm just like
but my favorite part is how close you get to the mic to you're like, hey guys.
Yeah, I'm like, hey guys. I'm like, she's asleep.
When Miranda tries to like love her, does she just go like and like
No. She loves Miranda's the daytime parent. So Coraline could give a fuck about me when she's up. But then when it's time to go to bed, she needs the Sandman. That's basically how that goes. So like when she's sleeping, like even if she's like dead ass asleep, and this is not an appropriate conversation for laser everything, but even if she's dead ass asleep, like I take 2 steps out of this room and she's just like, and she just like freaks out, dude. Like she will
She
not
knows.
sleep. Yeah, she will not sleep without me. And so I do the night. I've always done the night shift. I did the night shift when she was like an itty bitty little baby. I just
Yeah.
did because I'm up all night anyway, answering questions and working on videos and stuff. So
Well, Kyle's all up all night on the pole, you know.
Yeah.
Fall
all night long.
Fall night long, baby. By the way, did I tell you one of the students found?
Did they find e-stop?
Yeah,
Oh,
bro.
that sucks, dude.
And I was like, there's a paywall though.
for the bonus episodes.
That's the one they shouldn't listen to.
Yeah, well, I did edit that one down. If you guys haven't listened to it already, go listen to e-stop. It's really good. It's really good.
It's funny. It's a good time.
Emergency
Not
stop.
laser connected at all.
It has nothing to do with lasers, but it is the same friendly faces that you've grown used to on Laser Everything. You can find out more about that over at emergencystop.net. It doesn't cost a dime. There's 2 episodes up. We need to do another one this week. We were naughty last week, but I was just beat, dude. I was doing
behind
this.
you. I was about to say,
I know.
anyone who's like frustrated, look at that shit.
I don't think any of the 3 people that have listened to e-stop are frustrated that we didn't post an episode last week.
There's 4. My kids were in the car.
Oh my god. But yeah, it's a really great show. Don't listen to it around your kids. It's not appropriate for them. But we have a lot of fun making it. So if you want to check something different out from the same Laser Everything crew, one more time, emergencystop.net. We have a new episode of the Laser Source coming out too. I have to edit that episode with Michael, and then we'll talk tomorrow. We're gonna be back again tomorrow night, guys. 9:00. Wow, tomorrow's gonna be a busy day too, because I'm gonna be building a diode around noon, and then. Maybe there's a meme there when you have to build a diode at noon, but you have the Laser Source podcast at 9. So lots of stuff tomorrow, guys. So anyway,
T-1 minute on the poll closing, guys.
Okay, in the last minute here, who is on the podcast?
What do you mean?
Who's coming in? Who's our guest?
Tomorrow, nobody. The guest is the spirit of entrepreneurship.
Hey, nice. Okay.
Yeah, no, it's just us. No guest tomorrow. Just us.
It's like tomorrow we'll be talking about Coke products and trying to get sponsored.
This episode
Bars
of
of
Laser
butter.
Everything brought to you by Coca-Cola. Not cancer for your colon. Not at all. Success. That's dark.
Anyways, we'll just leave that there for everybody to ponder.
Yeah.
All right,
Kyle,
let's see.
fucking Pepsi piece of shit.
All right, poll's ending.
All right.
So Deep Engraved Knives won at 63%, followed by 27% by UV fiber testing on lighters. So maybe next time, guys. But hopefully you'll still enjoy watching us do some deep engraving.
The power to destroy a planet is nothing compared to the power of the Force.
By the way, how deep are you going on this knife, Kyle?
Jesus, Matt. So deep.
Stop.
Oh, yeah.
Stop making him do that. I don't like it.
Okay, Jack in the shop, you just lost so much respect for me.
I know. Pepsi
rules.
sucks.
No. Jack.
Do
high
another
five.
poll. Do another fucking poll right now. I'm not even joking. Pull one up right now.
All right, fine.
Coke versus Pepsi. If you want to be really sadistic, you can put RC Cola on there.
Ooh, but you know what though? RC is like just straight sugarcane Coke.
It's good. It's not better than Pepsi. It's not better than Coke.
No, it's better than Pepsi though.
It's better than Pepsi. It's not better than
Dude,
Coke.
RC Cola and Domino's Pizza when I was a kid.
Yeah. Pretty good. And a moon pie. Moon pies are okay.
Moon pie.
Dude, Little Debbie oatmeal cream pies.
Dude, Little Debbie used to be really good when I was a kid, but
it's gotten wild now.
I mean, I don't think the food has changed. I think it's the same garbage that it was in the 90s. I don't think that I like it anymore.
Both suck. If somebody puts water, just leave.
Root beer. Miranda's gonna put water. Water. I prefer water.
Water is what you know what? Water's in
I'm
Coke.
good with Dr. Pepper as a backup. I'm good with
Dr.
that.
Pepper is fine. It's fine. Andrew
Here's,
says root beer. What kind of root beer? Are you like a mug root beer or like a
ABC?
like an A&W?
Here's subject number 1.
Look at that thing, dude. That's like a killing knife.
Oh shit!
That's like the knife that killed Batman.
I was born in the dark. That's literally just waiting for it. Like literally, Alex should go into dark mode to show everybody that he's basically just Bane.
Dude,
with a
oh,
different
can I show you
voice.
something sick right now while Kyle's getting set up?
Let's do it.
Check this shit out. So I have an app on my phone.
Oh wait, your wife said Dr. Pepper.
Oh yeah. Well, there you go. So this app, come on, connect. Okay, great. So check this out. Ready? So I can do this shit. Look at this. Whoop. Oh.
Oh, that's cool.
Ooh.
Is that from the LEDs
What do you know
or is
about
that
that?
from the box, the color box?
That's my that's so they're all
Wait a
LED
second.
panels.
Ready for this? I also have an app.
The cops are here.
Hold on. Here's my app. See it going?
Yeah, that's great. This is a nice app. This is the police setting. We also have lightning.
Okay.
Dun, dun, dun. Paparazzi.
That would be great. That would be great for lasered, by the way.
What?
The lightning one.
Yeah. And ooh, fire truck. Look at that. It's pretty cool.
Dude, all the people next door are
party.
having your fireman neighbors.
Bum, bum, bum. And then so that's not all. So I've got that one, and then we also have the same things but a little more advanced on the key light.
There you go.
You know about that
Lord.
lightning. I like the paparazzi one.
Wow.
It's not even doing it. That's that one's cool.
Hold on, do that one more. Hold on, do that one more time. Let me just get my print screen button there. Oh no, I hope I got it. I hope I got it.
And we can do the cop car up here too.
That would be like the past flashbacks have some PTSD.
This one's called Candlelight, but this is the brightest candle I've ever seen in my entire life. Can we shift this down? What if it's
I was
like?
about to say, is this like a
Oh, that's kind of nice though. That's got like
Roman
a nice look to
candle?
it.
Roman candle?
Yeah, this one's called TV screen.
Yeah, that's about right.
Fireworks. There's like hue sliders, or we could just do party in the front and party in the back. Do you like to party?
Dude, all I can, baby, don't hurt me. No more. Anyways,
Yeah.
these poor people came here to watch laser stuff, and it's just
I mean,
us.
Kyle's doing what he does.
I know. Let's see. Chris said, taking the LE theme seriously, the wall is the color of the laser in this episode.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Yes. And in fact, I'm going to. I really like the pink. I like the pink one. Yeah,
Is that the one you had, the original, like the purpley pink?
that's the original one. Yeah, the
Yeah,
LED
save that
panels cannot hit like laser everything pink. Like that hot pink cannot do it. I don't know why. I've tried like a million different ways to make it happen, and it just doesn't work.
Dad's gonna be pissed. What? Business in the front, party in the back.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, CJ Max said, go sort this out. It's like, just take care of this.
Yeah. Take this guy off of the air. It's been 45 minutes already, and we have done nothing productive today.
I mean,
I'm
I
working
can turn
on it.
on my UV if you want.
Oh, it's not your fault, Kyle. It's mine.
Let's see what the UV does.
I set up a project with the artwork I needed way back when I did the first one for somebody.
Mm-hmm.
It's for a club, and the font that was used I didn't have installed. I had to go hunt it down real quick.
I had a question for you, Alex. If I was going to cut glass, with
What
UV,
is love? Sorry, you got that stuck
Yeah.
in my head now.
It's all good. Me, you, me. No, okay. All right. If I'm gonna cut glass, what would I do? Low speed, right? I would do not max power.
No.
Power.
No. Use your glass etching settings
Yep.
at
okay.
max power. Done. That's it. Don't change anything
Oh.
else. Yep.
Okay.
Because that's what you're doing. You're etching the glass away, layer by layer.
All right. Let's see. So we'll do that. Do I turn on wobble or anything?
I mean, you can. I didn't.
Hmm.
When I cut, it didn't really have a problem. It doesn't have the rewelding issue that metals have.
Muy interesante. One of my students who listened to Emergency Stop was like, I didn't know you were fluent in Spanish. And I'm like, I'm not. Where did you get that from? And then that's when he told me, he's like, from your podcast. And I was like, incorrect.
What podcast?
I literally said, I don't even speak Spanish, bro. I took French.
You'd be like,
Je
oh,
voudrais une bière, s'il vous plaît.
you just going to class the next day and
Matt
just be
goes
like,
wee wee.
that wasn't me.
I
That wasn't
do go
me
wee-wee.
on Emergency Stop. That was my evil twin, Matt Butterford.
Yeah, Matt
Butterford.
Butterford. He works
Matt
at Panera.
Butterford. Yeah,
He drinks Pepsi.
yeah. That wasn't me.
All right, let's see what happens here. Go, baby, go.
Are you just doing like a little circle, or
Yeah, just a little circle.
is it elevated? Are you cutting right on the bed?
What do you think, man?
Right
Come
on the bed, dude. Come on, just get some blocks or something, and just.
It's elevated, you doofus.
It doesn't look elevated from here.
But no one thinks it's elevated. It's elevated. I got one of the JDS giant slate pieces, and then I have a frame, like a picture frame glass, that I lift, like basically on the bottom of the JDS thing. There's little pads, and so it's elevated probably like 1/4 of an inch. And it's also got a giant piece of slate under it, so I mean that'll be okay.
The glasses that you're wearing make you look like one of the evil doctors from Outlast.
Oh wait, I want to see what this looks like with no. Yeah, that's actually a pretty good game. Hold on a second, let's see.
What is your oh, I swear to God, I just saw a tramp stamp.
Yeah, it was. It's in Spanish.
Of course it is. So that your evil twin can read it.
Pretty much. By the
Yeah.
way, you probably should not be putting your face directly at the thing like I'm doing right now with these glasses. I want to see what it looks like with no lights on. With UV.
It looks very
Hit the lights.
violet.
Well, I got to go across the freaking place to do it.
Oh, okay. Kyle's ready
So-
to do real work.
So we're ready to go. So
all right.
I'm gonna talk you guys through what I got going on here. All right. So first, I took a top-down photo with my phone. Right.
Like
I
a
did
pro.
this all before, so I couldn't show you the process because, well, I could, but it's already done. So I took a top-down photo, and I got a good tip from Alex. But prior to doing this, take the photo as far back as you can, so that the object is in the center of your lens. So if you have a wide-angle lens, you're not distorting the shape of the image.
Within reason. As
Within
far back as
reason,
you can
yes.
within reason. Like, don't stand on the other side of the room. That's stupid.
No. But you want it to be mostly centered in the lens, if where possible. So what I did then was, you'll see this this random line here, and I have it lined up in line with this rib on the knife, right? And the reason why I did that is because it gives me a reference point that's measurable, so that I can size the image so that the knife is appropriate to the sizing of the real world in digital space, right? So this image, in reference to the lens size, is going to be accurate. So what I can do now is I can take this whole thing and move it around, and I can align the artwork and the text where I want it. So now what I can do is I can take this text and I can rotate it in here and get it where I want it, and not have to worry about it. Pro tip, you guys see how this is jumping around like blocky? If you hold control, it smooths everything out. So if you're trying to get very fine movement out of it, that's how you do that. I'm gonna drop this down a little in size. And that's where I want that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to bring my knife over to the laser. We're going to get it in focus, and we're going to red outline this and see where we're at, and then I'll go over the settings.
I'm talking to you and I'm muted. It's like, why can't Matt hear me?
What a dope.
How's the cut coming?
Rip.
Yeah, it's going. Let's see what happens. Literally just screw around. So do I focus down a little bit as I go or no?
I didn't have to when I did mine, but mine was pretty thin.
Yeah, this is probably 1/16. It might be 1/8. I don't know.
I can't believe that neither of you noticed the scroll text that I had going across the bottom of the
I
screen.
saw what it said.
You just chose to ignore it?
Correct.
Oh, disappointing.
I didn't see it. I was busy working on a project.
Imagine doing your job.
I don't even get paid to be here, sir.
I would love to laser something right now. I don't have focal sticks for any of my lasers at the moment. Kyle, what the heck are you doing?
Do you think I have a focal stick right now? Hold on.
What? Why do you not have a focal stick?
This, friends, is a
Awesome.
yeah, is a ruler.
What
I don't
are you
have
doing?
focal sticks because that was the other thing that people didn't want to see me do.
Oh my goodness.
All right, let's just do this real quick. I gotta go by 10:15. I'm leaving. I have to. I'm telling myself. Let's see if it happens. Like never done.
We can both bail at 10:15. Let's make a pact.
Okay.
We'll just up and leave at 10:15.
I literally have. All right. I have to make 5 cups tonight. I have to. The whole thing is I have to get all the rotary shit done, so I can do the acrylic pieces. And if I do that, I'll be good to go. Then I have to do all the flexi, or what's it called, Flexibrass, or whatever. Flex
Like
JDS
Bromark?
Flex. Yeah, like the gold that
Bromark
turns
knockoff?
black.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it really, dude, it lasers nicely.
2-ply acrylic.
No, not even that. It's the little, like the. I mean, I guess it is. I don't know.
Dude,
It's
when
like
I was cleaning out the shop and bringing stuff home, I found and brought home a sheet of Johnson's Plastic Plus Romark mirror acrylic, which is really cool.
Yeah.
It's like solid.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. I have that laying around here. I have like everything. Everything we talk about, I have. Like just sitting here. I also have a can of Crown Royal Peach teas.
Oh my god.
I bought those for Voice. He did not seem enthused.
Beam It Up says one ruler to rule them all.
Yeah, and Jack in the shop said Dunlop. See this? See this stuff?
Yeah.
This stuff's pretty good. Okay, by the way, this is pretty cool. So, can you see the
Did you mark that through the back?
yeah, I literally just flipped it over. It was like zip zap.
Yeah,
Pew
sick.
pew. So, that'll be cool.
Pretty dope. That still has the protective film
yeah.
on it, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I have like 10 or 12 colors of that stuff. Like, every time I see anybody who's like, by the way, I'm selling this, I grab it. I really did want to play with this tonight, so I'm glad I'm over here.
Kyle, if you did anything important in Lightburn in the last couple minutes, you may want to tell people about it because you were definitely not on the screen.
Nothing yet. Nothing yet.
Okay, cool. I threw the Lightburn back up.
Let's see. What should I mark? Glass, I guess. Do a picture. Just for
I'm so
funsies.
excited to have the UV and CO2 Galvo like here at the home studio.
I bet, dude.
They're actually going to get used, and I'm amped about it.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, I'm pretty excited to just sit here and like BS because like usually like when you're working on one setting, it takes so long to get the UV like dialed in.
Yeah.
But if you have 2 or 3 people, like I'll change it to this, I'll change it to that.
Yeah.
Like you can just.
I know one of the
exponentially
things that
faster.
I need to do with you guys soon is start comparing to see how different our sources actually are.
You got the Ingu, right?
I do.
Okay. Yeah, Kyle and I got JPT.
You did. You guys got the.
Well, I know what I
Larks.
got, but yeah.
You got the Larks.
It's pretty sweet, dude. It's actually not that loud. Like when it was going earlier, I had no idea it was going. Like, because the fans are just super whisper quiet.
Yeah. Dude, did you hear that California Air Tools compressor? Were you watching when I turned that on?
No,
Oh,
I
dude,
didn't hear anything.
It's so quiet. I can bet when it's
I
running.
have one sitting here and it's gone once while we've been on, but while I was gone to the other side, and I was like, well, shit. Oh well.
Is it the little 1 gallon one in like the cage?
No, 2 gallon.
You got the 2 gallon. I got the 1 gallon, dude, and it's like
Super quiet.
yeah.
Wait a minute, what's it sound like one more time?
Really, it's more like that's that's more accurate. It's
Yep.
very quiet. I'm very
It's like
impressed.
It's like the Howard Stern movie for anybody who has a nice large bass there. I'm a bad person.
Hopefully the exhaust isn't too loud for you guys.
Kyle, what is
What is what?
Yes, what is?
is your red dot like not red?
It is.
Speaking of red dots not being red, that's something we noticed about. He and I have the same unit, but he has a blue dot and I have a red dot.
Yeah, some of them have been coming with red dots lately,
Interesting.
which is I don't know. Mixed feelings about that. I've heard that the red dots that are being included are very fat. That's what I've heard.
Are you trying to dot shame people?
Dot shaming. Yeah.
I thought you were better than that.
Miranda's asking if we noticed Pepsi won the poll. I can't see the poll because I'm only in StreamYard.
Actually, she said Alex and his colorblindness. Lol. What a jerk.
Yeah.
Is your
I
red
know.
dot red? Is it though?
It didn't look very
Is-
red to me. Pepsi
So-
won. Wow, that
Hold on.
sucks.
I want to see what people think about
But
this.
how
Can
much
I
did
tell
it win
people?
by?
Wait, no, it didn't.
By too much.
50% to 38.
Ugh. Ugh.
My boys.
Dumb.
So here's what we got going on. So we got Alex got my back with the light burn. All right, so we're gonna do just the image to start, and I already have a setting for this. And that's it. So what it is, I'll open it up. It's our deep engrave setting, but I've tuned up the frequency. So deep engrave, you want to go for the frequency that gives you the peak output power. For my 100 watt, that's 75 frequency at 200 Q pulse is going to give me my max output. That means it's going to hit the hardest and dig out the most. 1900 speed, 75 frequency, 27 power in my case for a 110 lens on the 100 watt. And then for my sub layer, this is a cleaning pass at a little bit higher frequency. Otherwise, same settings. And then at the end, we will do an anneal and get it cleaned up.
How many passes of each are you doing? I can't read it because it's too little on my screen.
It's 2 passes of the deep and 1 pass of the clean with auto rotate on. I have an angle increment of 43 on the first one and 47 on the second one. And the reason why I'm doing very odd and strange numbers is because those numbers will never overlap each other or have a very little likelihood to. So the idea is that if you scratch in the same direction, right, from the same angle, you're going to have a very deep groove. But if you're scratching from various angles that never overlap, you're going to end up with a much smoother finish, is the idea. And we're using bidirectional because it's going to save us some time. Again, make sure you have auto rotate on if you're doing an angle increment, and especially if you're using multiple layers like this. And that's it. So I'm turning off every other layer so I don't accidentally engrave something I don't want to. And I'm going to double check in the camera that we're still lined up, and we are. And we're good to go. So I'm going to, here's the trick. If you want to do many passes and you want it set up a particular way where you do multiple passes and then a cleaning, use the framing feature, repeat, and set it to the total you want. So I have 2 deep digging passes for every cleaning pass. If I want to do 10 passes or 30 passes of everything, it would be 10 repeats, right? And that's it. So we're going to hit start and watch it go. And in the meantime, I will hang out with you guys in chat and we can answer some questions. I don't know if you guys can hear that. Give me a yes in chat if you can hear the satisfying sound of the laser. It's the song of our people. It's just creating little black holes, that's all. It's a 100-watt laser, man. It's like a world destroyer. So German formula says, looking to get a 50-watt or 60-watt JPT. Can you explain what you get out of a greater frequency range of a MOPA, 600 to 4,000 kilohertz, other than color on stainless and titanium? So you can also get stainless on anodized, like anodized aluminum. Allegedly, you can get it on some other select materials too, but that may be limited. I don't know. I haven't tested it. But primarily you're looking at stainless and titanium. The goal of what you're looking for is going to depend on what you want to do with it. Are you going to do a ton of deep engraving? Are you going to do a lot of plastics or polymers, like polymer gun frames or anything like that? So I think it will kind of depend on what your goal is with it. If you're looking to do a lot of deep engraving, I would go with like a, I mean, either one will give you a good bang for your buck on deep engraving. If you get a really good deal on a 50-watt, I would say that would be fine for deep engraving. If you're looking to do color marking as a bonus and time is of the essence for you, if any kind of time savings is going to equate to better payoff on your return, then a 60-watt would be better. Plastics, powder coating, marking, not too much deep engraving. So if you're going to be doing a lot of plastics, I would say MOPA might be worth it. Not required, but maybe. Because that Q pulse is going to make it much easier to dial in what you want to get done. Powder coating. So removing powder coat, you could do with either. Marking in general, you could do with either for sure. General marking of metals, you're probably not going to go anywhere near above 600 kilohertz on a 60, unless you're looking for some kind of a specialty mark and you're really fine-tuning it in and you're looking for like colors. If you're marking plastics, the higher kilohertz range might help. because you don't have that Q pulse to dial back how much each pulse hits and how much heat it's going to generate. I hope that helps. Either one will definitely do fine for you, it sounds like. So I guess it just depends on if you want something with a little bit more oomph or not. And again, if time is of the essence for you, if it might save you some time, maybe that upfront investment into the extra 10 watts might be worth it to you. It kind of depends. Check out the buying guide in the description. We've reviewed a bunch. And if you haven't joined the Discord, we talk a lot about the reviews that are coming up. So if there's potentially a machine that might work good for you and is in testing for us for a review, we're happy to give you that info. Alfred says, I'm looking to purchase a 5-watt UV. Any pros and cons in powered Z-axis versus manual crank? Manual crank is going to be easier to move up and down slower, which means so with a 5-watt UV and basically any lens you're going to be working with, the range of focus is going to be a fraction of what it is on like a fiber. So for example, on a 110 fiber lens, you might get a couple millimeters of focus range. So where you're in focus before the laser stops doing work, you get a range. With a UV, that is significantly smaller of a range. It's like 1/3 or less. So it's very sensitive because it's very efficient at what it does, but the amount of power given to it to do that work is very limited, right? So you need to get it in that perfect spot. So you might have to wiggle it down by like a millimeter or maybe less than a millimeter to get it perfectly in focus. And sometimes powered Z-axes will give you trouble with that without fine-tuning it. Whereas with a manual crank one, it's a little easier. I've personally not had a problem with my powered Z-axes as of yet. And I do have a powered Z-axis on my UV as well. But I can see the appeal. If it's an option to you, and usually it's not a huge cost difference, you can sometimes get a Z-axis, a powered Z-axis with a crank, a hand crank. So you can do both. If I was going to do it again, I might see if that's an option. But other than that, it's kind of personal preference. If I missed anybody's questions, feel free to drop them in chat again. And my headset's dying. So Mr. and Mrs. T says, is a CO2 laser more efficient at powder coat removal than a fiber? It depends on what type of efficiency you're looking at. Fiber is great at removing powder coat, but it's also great at removing metal. So if you want the clean surface mark of the metal without having to worry about removing of metal, a CO2 is great. If you're referring to a CO2 galvo, it's very fast. Kind of depends. If you want to just throw a tumbler underneath a CO2 galvo, right, with minimal fine tuning and whip through them super fast without having to worry about messing with the metal underneath by accident, that would be the way to go. But a fiber will do that and more. But it's going to require more fine tuning, because while it is both the right tool for the job, it's also the wrong tool, if that makes sense. You can do it, you just need to do it carefully, because it will do it too well, and it'll mark the metal underneath. Jack in the Shop and Beam It Up were both correct. Yes and no. Yep. Exactly. Yeah. So if you really tune it in and you get it dialed in perfect, you'll be more than happy with the fiber. But if you want less variable for error, CO2 Galvo is wicked fast and will do the same thing, but without the worry of marking the metal unless you're just going ham on it. If you got the power cranked and the line distance cranked, it'll superheat the metal and you'll like stain it. But if you keep it within reason, it'll be fine. Yeah, that's true, Jack. When you're talking about efficiency, you could be thinking faster versus, waste. It depends. But yeah, CO2 Galvo is wicked fast. If you're talking about a CO2 gantry, it's not going to be as fast, but it will do a clean job. And you definitely don't have to worry about marking the metal if you get your power within reason and your line distance right. Yep, different powder coat colors react differently. That is true. So especially with fiber, your reds, your blues, and your really, really light colors that don't readily absorb energy, you're gonna experience a little more difficulty, and you're gonna need to vary your power and frequency a bit to get that kind of tuned in. A CO2 is a little more forgiving. It will need some power adjustment depending on the color you're working on, but and also the thickness of the powder coat is another factor. But that is true too. Yes, you're going to be dealing with slightly different issues. CO2 Galvo is the right tool for the job if all you do is tumblers, for sure. It's going to be super fast. You're going to have less problems, less oopsies going too deep. But you're also, it's one of those things where you're in a situation where the wavelength is, you can use two different wavelengths to do the same thing on that project. There's not always a lot of overlap on that. So. Robex says, I read that on a MOPA, the other colors etched besides black and gray tend to rust in time. Is that true? Yes and no. It depends on the metal type, and it depends on if you ablated any of the metal at the surface while you were color marking. So if you had too much power going into it, just for a quick and dirty MOPA guide, or how it works in terms of colors. Color is a function of heat when it comes to metal. So you're going to vary your line distance, your power, your frequency, and with full MOPA unlocked lasers, your Q-pulse width, and you're going to utilize those as your tools to generate heat. The goal is to not ablate when you do that, though, because if you're ablating the surface, you're introducing little grooves in the surface, which creates more surface area, and you're removing the top finish of the steel. When you do that, you're generating carbon buildup on the top, and you're changing the structure of the metal, and you're increasing surface area. And those little grooves with extra surface area are going to enable rust to potentially generate where it wouldn't normally or would take less time to. If you're very careful, you're not ablating, and you're only generating heat, you're doing it right, and it's less of a chance to rust. The other factor there is what the chemical makeup or what type of steel you're using. We will be doing a MOPA guide at some point. It's a very, very involved topic, and it's gonna. It takes time. We got a lot on our plate on that, so. But I hope that helps. Black is a function of bringing the carbon up to the surface of the steel. That's that, and gray is just that, but less so. What do CO2 galvos cost, and what is a good wattage? I have a monster gantry right now. So if you're looking at a CO2 galvo, they've actually come down in price, in especially in the last year, actually. But if you look at the buying guide, any of the brands that we recommend also offer CO2 galvos and actually UVs. So they're brands we trust. We've tested them. My current UV is from a different brand. It's from Pascal at Aeon Laser. So that's still in review right now. I'm still working on that, and it's still in testing. But aside from that, everything else is represented on the buying guide for me, at least so far. I don't have a CO2 galvo though. So my experience with the CO2 galvo is limited to my testing that was done in Alex's shop on his Mactron, which was a 30-watt coherent tube. They're going to price out differently depending on which tube you get and which wattage you get and what other options you get. Wow. It's amazing how loud that machine is. The 100-watt puts in work when it's engraving. Holy moly. So, I mean, you could be looking at a couple thousand up to 10 grand, depending on if you're looking at a 30-watt versus a 60-watt, if you're looking at a Davi, a Coherent, a Sinrad. What's another brand? Yongli, I think it was. And there's various RF CO2 manufacturers out there. So again, it depends. Coherent and Sinrad are generally considered your premium brands. Davi is considered like your slightly more economy brand. To be honest, I haven't really had too many complaints on the quality from them. So it depends on what you want. Coherent and Sinrad, I think, are both US brands, and Davi, I think, is Chinese. I would reach out to a reputable manufacturer and get a quote for anywhere from like a 30-watt to a 60-watt, and to decide what accessories you want and what features you want, and get a couple quotes built out, and get a couple quotes built out from whatever other manufacturers you want, and see when they can get them to you, and see what fits your budget and your time frame. Yep. Anytime. So we are done on that, at least in terms of the first 10 loops of 2 engraving passes and a sort of engraving cleaning pass. I'm going to go over and see what kind of depth we got and if I like it. All right, so I'm gonna do 5 more rounds. Okay, let me show you what we're doing here. So we need a little more depth. We're gonna do 5 more. So total, that's 15 repeats of 2 engraving passes and 1 higher frequency engraving pass. So we're gonna start that now. And when that's done, we're gonna do the letters and we'll be done. If you guys do have any other questions while we're hanging out here, just let me know. How would you go about measuring the engraving depth to such a minute degree and with accuracy? There's a couple ways you can use. Oh man, I'm trying to remember the name of the tool. There's like it's not the right name. They're like needle gauges, dial indicator. So you can basically zero it out on the surface, and as long as the surface of the knife is perfectly flat, which it should be before you start engraving, ideally. But if you get all of that done, and you drag the needle gauge across the surface of the knife while it's zeroed out against the surface of the bed, as the needle drops down into the engraving surface, you'll get, or a dial indicator, it'll measure in whatever, either fractions of a millimeter or fractions of an inch, whatever, to do that. Micrometers can measure depth, so that is true. But that also requires the groove that you're engraving into to be wide enough to fit the end of the caliper into, or the micrometer, I mean. But that is valid. It's going to be pretty tight in some cases. The design for me would be a little difficult to measure because I don't have enough flat surface to rest the base of the micrometer on versus dropping the needle down into it. But you'll know that's the reason why you can use micrometers in 3 different ways. You can measure it to measure the outside, or use it to measure the outside of something, closing down on it. You can use it to measure the inside of something, opening up against it with the back. But you can also use the bottom by placing the bottom of it against an opening of an engraving and dropping the needle down into the engraving hole. That is valid. You may just have a hard time doing it, is all. Does the knife ever move while layering from vibration, weight shift, etc.? This knife is pretty heavy, and that's part of the reason why I have the blocking underneath the blade. It's possible that little micro vibrations could move it, and that might cause a little ghosting. It's heavy enough where it won't do that, and especially with the support from the blocking underneath, it's pretty stable. I just need to not touch it while it's engraving. And I can't touch it in between passes. Lens recommendations for a UV. Would a 5-watt UV perform better on polymers versus a fiber? They're totally different animals. If you're talking about like PMags, for example, a UV will surface mark till you're blue in the face, literally. But a fiber can melt right through it if you're not careful. It depends on what you want. UV is not designed for deep engraving. It is really designed for surface marking. That is also the reason why it works out that it's got such a shallow focal range to work with, because you're not really going to be doing depth engraving with it. So you just make sure it's in focus and mark, and you're done. It was definitely more than a $9.99 knife. And yes, it's okay to make money. But yeah, that's what you're doing, right? When you're lasering, you're building up your toolbox, your knowledge, right? You're investing your time to educate yourself, and you're coming out of it with tools, and you can use those tools that you've learned to make money. I did not buy the knife. This is for somebody else, and it was their knife, so I have no idea. It is a nice knife, though. I'll see if I can get that info for you for maybe next stream, or if you remind me, ping me in the Discord or on LMA. Oh, right. So going back to the UV lens recommendations for 5 watt. So, yep, LMA is fine. Just meshes the support account, and I'll do what I can to find a source. So for a UV lens, if detail is king, you're going to want the smallest lens possible. A 110 or a 150 would be great. A 175 on a 5 watt is generally what most manufacturers say would be your cap out for if you want to stay detailed. Recently, we've seen an abundance of 110 and 210 lenses getting shipped out with 5 watts, and we've been getting some good feedback about that. So the jury's kind of out on that still. We're looking into it. I do have some lenses on the way to kind of do some lens testing, and I'm going to kind of share my thoughts on that once I have formed an opinion about the testing results. So we're going to do some line tests, and we're going to do some detail tests, and we're going to test different materials and see how they react to different lenses, and see when you start to run out of power to drive the lens. Any updates on the Makira? Did you ever get a chance to try the same deep engraving you did on another live stream with more layers? No, I did not. I intended to, and I totally forgot. So thank you for reminding me. I will have to do that. I do have the file set up. Currently, I had to move the laser. It's in another room, so I'm not going to be able to run that right now. But I will definitely run that either sometime this week or this coming weekend. Thank you for reminding me. I feel bad for not doing that now. How is Lightburn with the UV? It is a mixed bag. Officially speaking, it's not fully there yet. It's done. Officially speaking, Lightburn with the UV isn't 100% yet. So as of right now, I get roughly like 40% or 50% more power out of using EasyCAD versus Lightburn. But it's also still a beta thing. So they are working on it. They're adding to it as we speak. And they did just implement a change on that for us, so we can test that out. I did not install that yet today because I wanted to make sure I had a functioning copy of Lightburn for stream today. But I will be doing some testing on that later this week to see how that goes. I want to see Kyle stipple the handle on that blade. We're not going to be doing stippling on this knife because, again, it's not mine, and I did not okay that. It wasn't part of the request. But perhaps if I get another one, I can run that past them and we can do some testing on it. We'll see. I'm going to take another final peruse at this, make sure I like the depth. It's perfect. All right. So to help show you guys, because I can't pick the blade up and show you, I need to keep it set up. Which UV do you have? I have a 5-watt JPT UV with a 150 lens currently. I have more coming in with a powered Z-axis from Pascal at Aeon Laser. So we'll do some more on that. I'll circle back and do some more live streaming on that. The last live stream that me and Alex were working together on, where Alex did the setup on his CO2, I also did some UV testing on the slate. If you kind of want to dive into that, that was pretty fun. We got a dark gray and a light gray, almost a white. It's pretty nice. And that was with very minimal testing using Lightburn. Mark says that's what he's looking at right now with a 110 and a 210. Very cool. Okay. So we will have sibling machines, as it were, which is great because you'll, I mean, Alex has the Ingu covered. I have the JPT covered. We haven't completely figured out the differences between the two yet. But when we do, that'll be awesome because it'll help everyone. But even in the meantime, if we don't, it means we still have representation of materials for under both types of sources. So whatever you prefer, we got you covered. So what I'm doing is I'm going to do a white finish over this. Ooh, Lightburn's freezing. We're going to give it a minute. So we're going to do a white finish over this just to kind of brighten it up, give it a pop so you guys can see it. And then we're going to do an anneal after that. And let me show you where we're at here. So we got this. If I double click, these are just the settings I've adjusted for. That gave me a nice, clean, bright white with a crosshatch. We'll leave that up on screen for a moment. Let me make sure, yep, flood fills off. And we're going to go back and make that pop. Have I been successful with cylinder correction on the UV? Yes. Before I hop off stream, I will show you the glass I did. With a 150 lens, it's a little tight with this size of a glass, especially if you go too wide. It's because you have such a narrow range of being in focus. It's narrower than on a fiber with the same size lens, as an example. You will be looking at the distance from top to bottom on the engrave. So if you draw a line from where your engrave is stopping around the curve on both sides, that's your low point versus your high point. You got to make sure you're staying within range, right? Hopefully that makes it pop a little bit so you can see the background a little bit more. We'll go take a photo. I can drop it on the Discord later. And now I'm going to go back over to Lightburn, and we're going to do an anneal pass. I'm going to go over here, grab anneal. And again, this is just kind of the settings I'm using in this case. Not super fine-tuned, but it's it's tuned enough where I'm happy with it. Solid results. Crosshatch 45s. And we're going to go back and hit play on that. Yeah, so I do have some extra lenses coming for that, so I can get a little bit more comparison testing. Help out with more material testing, differences between lenses on the UV, and really see where that 5-watt really maxes out before you really just run out of power to drive the lens. So we're gonna test it to its limits. You guys seeing that anneal? It already looks so good. Now it's just blown out by IR, but the lettering is going to go much, much faster. Is my UV water cooled or air cooled? It is air cooled. So Ingu, the one that Alex has, comes in 3 and 5 watt air cooled and water cooled, I believe, or at least the 5 watt does. Maybe the 3 watts just air cooled. I don't remember. The JPT, like I have, you can get in both 3 and 5 watt, and you can also get, I believe, both of them as water cooled or air cooled. The model difference is JPT 355 5 Lark for the air cooled, I believe, and then Seal for the water cooled, if I'm not mistaken. And then for the Ingu, it's Seal and Seal. I'm sorry, not Seal. It's Grace and Grace X for air cooled and water cooled, I believe. And cost, I believe. I can't remember the price. It was in like the 7,100 range, I think, for the package. Yep, Mark got it. Seal is water, Lark is air. Mm-hmm. All right, I'm going to turn off framing, and we're going to take a look at this together. I'm back. So you know what the best part is? You would think this would be hot. It's not. This is cold to the touch. Just kind of clean out all those grooves. Not perfect, but let's show you guys. I still got to go in there and clean out the grooves a little bit better. The rag I have is just too floofy to really get in there. I need to really go get a toothbrush and some oil and really polish that out a little. I'm very happy with that, though. What do you guys think? What do you use to clean a knife after the engraving besides a rag? Exactly what I just said. So I'll take like I have a cleaning toothbrush, just a firm bristle toothbrush from the dollar store, from the grocery store, or whatever. It doesn't have to be nice. And use a little 3-in-1 oil, or I mean, 3-in-1 oil is probably preferred. In a pinch, I've used WD-40, but that's not technically oil. That is like a silicone lubricant. It'll serve a similar purpose in the sense that it provides you a liquid that's not going to rust the material to clean it, and it also, the silicone keeps the water off of it. So, I mean, in a pinch, I've used that. It's been fine. 3-in-1 would be preferred. And the reason why I did an anneal on that is because it brought the carbon up to the top of the surface the carbon to protect the iron in the steel. Have I tried an ultrasonic cleaner? I have not, because I don't have one. And I also wouldn't know what I was doing with it because I've never used one. Sounds cool, though. It sounds very much in line with something you'd play with after playing with the laser, doesn't it? But yeah, 3-in-1 oil is awesome. Just get it right off Amazon if you don't have anywhere local that has it, or if you just don't feel like hunting for it. Amazon's convenient for that. Got a link in the buying guide. We have to do those letters before I can call it done. So, let's go back to Lightburn. We're going to get this out of here. And I believe I put it on the blue. No, I didn't. Red? No. Green? What layer did I put it on? Oh, it's because they're not showing. I'm a doofus. There we go. We're going to set that to our layer that we were using. Get rid of everything else. And I'm using cut selected graphics because, as you can see, I have artwork from other versions of this knife off to the side. I like to keep them there in case I have to do them again. Yes, Javier, show. That's why I do that. So what we're going to do, we're going to set this back up for my cleaning and deep engrave. It is the same exact settings we used for the first engrave. And I'm even going to set it for the same amount of passes now that I know exactly what I'm doing for the depth on this knife. And I have it set to fill all shapes at once. I have a feeling if I do fill all shapes individually, it will go faster. Because it's not going to be jumping across the surface as much. We're going to try it. YOLO. Jewelry cleaner and an ultrasonic thing is the ultrasonic thing. Yeah. So, I mean, I could do that. I don't know if I would do it with this just because of the handle on it. I don't know if I would want to add anything to the handle. But something like jewelry, or if I had a raw blade with the handle off, maybe that would be cool. There's some cheap ones. You have one and it helps a lot. Maybe we can get into that. We'll have to see. Mark also says sewing machine oil is awesome for that. Okay. All right. Let's get this lined up. We gotta switch the cameras around here. Just a moment. All right, there we go. Do I use auto rotate or just 45 crosshatch enough? No, I use auto rotate when I'm doing deep engraving. If you're doing single or double pass, 45 with crosshatch is plenty in most cases. As long as you have your line interval and your settings kind of tuned, that's more than enough. You don't usually end up with like crazy lines or anything. When you're deep engraving, though, you definitely want to use the method I was showing here. I'll show you again. So what I have is you can use a variation of this. This is just how I've been kind of messing with it recently. But you want to use an increment that as you continue to progress on it, it's going to continue to not exactly overlap. You want it to be off by a couple degrees. Or at least spread out enough where if you do overlap, like if you're doing a full circle, you want to break it up by 10 or 12 or 15 pieces of the pie, right? Of the full circle. Because when you do that, by the time it gets back to 0, where it started from, for example, you're putting so many more angles of mark into it by the time you get back to it that it's probably not going to leave behind a weird line on you. So there's not really a right or wrong on that. It's just going to depend on what you're doing. If you want deep engraving, this is just a method I've been using for me. If you break it up into 10 or 12 passes on this, and you do like 36 degrees or 32 degrees or something like that, that'd be more than enough too. That's fine. So we have 2 passes on this deep engrave at 43 degrees with auto rotate. So it's going to move 43 degrees each pass. And on fill 2, it's 47 just because it's offset from that for 1 pass. And that's our cleaning pass. And then when we go into frame, we're going to set this. We did 15 total of our deep engrave first. We're just going to go right to 15. Hit repeat. That means it's going to rotate 43 or 47 or whatever number you saw on auto rotate for however many loops on that pass times 15 loops of all of the passes. I hope that makes sense. It's multiplication things. So we're going to go over here. We got that lined up where I want it. And we're going to hit start. Happy to help, Javier. Anytime, man. Mark says, does your red light, does your red laser look as bright in person as it does in video? The red laser or the laser marking on the knife? It's bright. The red laser, I think it's normal red light brightness. I mean, normal for an external red light, right? It's way brighter than the one that's included in the JPT source itself. There's a beam combined red light on all of my fibers. The marking on the knife, oh yeah, no, it's bright. That is the power of the Death Star, man. It's a 100-watt beast. Oh, the beam combined, yeah. I think it's about normal for a beam combined red light. I can turn on the one on my 60-watt Wisely to give you a comparison if you want after this, real quick. Are these settings on the LMA library, or is the custom setting you have? What is the settings reference called in the library? In the LMA, if you go to Topics and then you go to Downloads, so Topics on the left-hand main menu, and then within that, you'll see Downloads come up. If you go to Downloads, it is the Fiber Laser Parameter Library. I did a lot of work pre-converting a bunch of wattage and lenses ahead of time for people, so you didn't have to do that if all you wanted was this library to start. We can compare, Mark. I'll show you the 60-watt and the 100-watt for an outline, just so you can see both. I'm not sure if it's different or not. I don't know. But we're using Steel Deep Engrave, which I modified to work better with my laser. So that's the fine-tuning aspect. It gets you started, and then you want to fine-tune it. So Steel Deep. And what I did was I increased the frequency to be within my power curve, right? So on the 100-watt, I got a piece of paper that said it tested out that the peak power is output at 75 frequency, 200 Q pulse, because I have a MOPA. So Steel Deep Engrave. Then what I did was I generated a duplicate of that and used that and increased the frequency to kind of sweep away and clean the surface, and also kind of do a little bit more work polishing it up as it goes, so it evens out those dig lines a little bit, right? That is just made out of using that as a base setting and then modifying it to do what I want to do as a secondary pass. So that's a sub layer. Just to kind of give you a train of thought, you can totally utilize that on your projects too. It doesn't work with just this material. You can do that with all the materials if you wanted to, if you're doing like deep engraving. And then when we brightened it up, when we were doing the big pass, that was steel white finish, which we're probably about to do again. I gotta go check how it looks. And then we finished it off with steel anneal, which is also in the library. All of those are in the library for the most part. Again, you just got to fine tune it for your source in some cases. So it kind of just depends. It gets you in the ballpark though. So I'm going to turn off framing. We're going to go over there and look. Oh, yeah. I don't know if the depth comes through on camera or not, but it looks good. All right, so we're going to hit that with white finish. Switch screens. So we got white finish here. I'm going to assign that. It's going to need a minute. There we go. And we're going to start that. We appreciate that. It's there out of convenience, to be honest. All the settings are available on the channel here. If you wanted to go through the effort of converting it for yourself for whatever laser you're using. So the LMA is really there to kind of keep us here with the ability to stay here so that we can keep doing testing and educating and showing projects and trying to help everybody out as best we can and, you know, grow together and learn together and, you know, be the best of each other as we can together. So we appreciate everyone who supports on the LMA, and we appreciate you for doing that too. So we brighten that up so you guys can get a little bit better of a view of that now. And now I'm going to go back to over here, and we are going to drop our anneal pass on that now. Frame that up, make sure it looks as we'd expect, which it does. And start that. And again, before I move it, right, I'm going to go over there and make sure I like the way it looks. Make sure I don't have to do any fine tuning with the marking. Because once you move it, good luck getting it aligned again, right? This is kind of a one-off situation. I don't have it jigged. Oh, that's perfect. I think it needs another pass because it's so small, it doesn't really take a lot of heat. I'm going to run that one more time. Blackout says, does anyone know why Lightburn parameters won't save? Every time I open Lightburn, the parameters is empty, and I have to redo them. I can give you a tip on that right now. I'm going to switch to Lightburn, and I will show you. So under library, right, you'll see here it says 100 watt fiber 110. So this is a physical, if you mouse over it, it has a physical location. It is a library that is saved on the computer. If this is empty, it's possible that you either didn't save the library or it's just not linked to the device that you're on. So if I create a duplicate of this device, right, I have lots of devices here. If I create a duplicate of this device, duplicate, the library isn't going to be there because it's, well, it will because I duplicated it. But let's say I set it up for a 200 millimeter lens, right? So I have to load the 200 millimeter lens into this area. And once it's linked, when you close Lightburn, it might ask you if you want to save the project and the library. If you just click no and click out of it too quickly, it's not going to save that for you. You have to make sure you're clicking yes on saving your library if you didn't create a library file. I can't tell you how many times I've done that to myself just because I created like a fake project to kind of test some stuff for somebody. But in the meantime, I was in the middle of creating a library or adjusting things, and then I forgot to save it. I had to redo all that testing, right? So that's my tip for you, Blackout. If you like the white look and don't anneal, what happens? What happens when you wear a white shirt and eat a really delicious sloppy meal? Kind of the same thing, right? So if this is like a daily carry knife or something like that, it has the potential of picking up oils, dirts, grease, little crumbs, little whatever. As it collects oil, it's going to pick up extra stuff. And that white is going to stain. But also The white is not a protective layer because it's not bringing the carbon up to the surface as a protection. Carbon doesn't rust. Iron rusts, and iron is a component of steel. So you want to anneal it and kind of let that carbon float up to the surface so it doesn't oxidize. Yeah. Yep, you got it. So white does look good. If you're surface marking stainless steel and you're not engraving it, steel white is fine, usually, depending on the steel. The white layer in this case is really just to make it pop, make a differentiating factor, because it's not deepening the surface. It's, if anything, it's helping clean out all the little yuckies still in that deep groove before I anneal. So it serves the purpose of helping me see it better when I go to visually check it and make sure it's what I want done before I go through the process of annealing it and finishing it off. And two, it makes it easier for you guys to see because it gives you a contrast. So I do it for myself, whether you guys are watching, just because it helps me visually inspect it more. It lets me see that surface layer inside the engrave much better. So if there's any imperfections there, it's easier to pick up for me, especially when I flash my flashlight in there. Any imperfections that I don't want will usually show up either behind a shadow of a ridge with the flashlight on, or it just gets picked up easier. So I hope that makes sense. Does anyone have any idea when Lightburn will work for EasyCAD 3? No. Even the developers, I don't think, know when it's going to work for EasyCAD 3. Before they even dive into testing on that, they're really looking to finalize support for EasyCAD 2 boards that they've already started on. And at least from what they've said publicly, that includes like the more robust feature set to make sure it's kind of all inclusive before they dive into a whole nother project. Because EasyCAD 3 is kind of like a totally different language. It talks completely differently to the control board. So that's going to be another situation, as it were. All right, so let's go grab that knife. Hello. All right, so I got to wipe this down, and then we'll look at it together on the camera. And again, the beautiful part about this is too, I didn't do a lot of fine tuning with this, but I did enough fine tuning where I got it down to the point where I am solidly into the surface of this knife, and it is cool to the touch when I pick it up off the table. So I'm very happy with the results I'm getting on this. So let's show that first one. And we'll bring it over. And I don't really know. Get this. Not really a great way to show how much depth there is, but hopefully that comes through to you guys through the camera. It is if I had to guess, it's maybe like 2 or 3/10 of a millimeter into the surface on the lettering and the deep engrave. I'm pretty happy with that. Thanks, Javier. Thank you, Mr. and Mrs. T. Appreciate it. So, that's it for tonight's project. If anybody has any questions before we finish up for the night, please let me know. I'll be happy to hang out for a couple more minutes. We can discuss. For the time being, because I don't have my oil with me, it's going back in the case. What was the total runtime on the project? I don't know. Not including art prep. Let me guesstimate here. We started engraving an hour ago. There was downtime in between the first 10 and the last 5, and we also talked about settings. There's like 5 minutes of downtime there, and 5 minutes of downtime when we prepped for the letters. I don't know, maybe 45 minutes. I could optimize it a bit. Yeah, time equals money. I could optimize it. I could definitely go faster if I wanted to. I estimate you could probably get this done in like a half an hour if you had everything kind of set up. If I was batch running these, I'd be doing this through a jig, and I'd be doing... I could probably do 2 of these off of 110 lens. So I could do 2 at a time, and the runtime would probably be somewhere in the ballpark of 45 minutes if I optimized how the fill was going, either by object or across the whole surface. Not bad. I also went deep because this is for a friend, so I wanted to give it that extra pop. For a customer engraving, it's deeper than than they would really want to go for. Don't need to go that deep. What do I charge for a project like this for a customer? It depends. So if you're looking at the fact that the majority of it is just engraving time, so it's passive, you're not doing artwork, and especially if you're doing more than one, if this wasn't a one-off, which it's not, I've done a couple of these now. I don't know. Maybe 60 each. 50. If I could get 2 in 45 minutes, that would be the equivalent of like 120 an hour. So, just as an estimate. But if nobody else has any questions, I think we're going to wrap it up for tonight. So, well, thank you guys for hanging out. Each and every one of you. I like that kind of return. Yeah, it's not a bad return. And this is a friend, so I kind of went a little extra on it. I didn't have to do those extra 5 passes, so I could have chopped like 35% off of the engrave time too if I really, wanted to. And if I set it up and aligned it. Oh, Mark, thank you for reminding me. Red light, yes. We're going to switch. So this is... let me get a surface under it. So that is the red light. Let's switch it back to bounds. That is the red light on my lasers only 100-watt JPT MOPA, right? And let me turn on my 60-watt. I have to switch devices. Bear with me a moment. That is on the 60-watt. So, I don't know. I think it's about even. You'll have to let me know in post. Leave a comment. Let me know which one's brighter. Yes, I build my computer. In a prior life, I did nothing but IT. I will go back and leave a comment because I can't go back on the interface I have. So you guys leave a comment. Let me know which one you think is brighter or if they're the same, and I'll do the same. Thank you guys for hanging out with me for the stream, and thank you to the LMA supporters that made it possible and viewers like you guys. So if you're not part of the community, there's links to the Discord, the LMA, the Facebook, all of that down below. And we'll see you in the next live stream or video. Have a good night, everybody. Take care.